Sisters, there are so many benefits of lifting the anus. Practice it eagerly. Speaking of lifting the anus, I am very familiar with it. This thing is now a secret exercise among our young people. In the past, most of the people who were keen on lifting the anus were boys. I really didn't expect that our girls were also secretly lifting the anus behind the scenes. Today, let's talk about this lifting the anus exercise, especially for female friends. You must lift carefully. First, what is lifting the anus? There are several types of people here who must pay attention to today's content. Whether you are a student party or a working party, or a person who is tortured by hemorrhoids and often unconstipated, or a sister who feels that her buttocks are weak, don't miss it. The so-called lifting the anus exercise is actually very simple. It is to lift the anus up, inhale at the same time, clamp the anus tightly, hold it for 3 seconds, and then relax while exhaling. To put it bluntly, a set of lifting the anus exercises to control our anus area to tighten and relax. Is it easy to understand? Maybe you have secretly followed a few sets in your mind at this moment. Of course, this is just the most basic version of the anus lifting exercise. On this basis, many other ways of lifting the anus have been derived, such as tightening the legs and lifting the anus, lifting the feet in the anus, and lying down to lift the anus. However, no matter how the form changes, their essence is to exercise our sphincter. How popular is the anus lifting exercise? On Douban, there is a special anus lifting check-in group in which nearly 30,000 people are punching and unlifting the anus, searching for a keyword anus lifting on Weibo. All kinds of jokes persuading everyone to lift the anus are varied and very interesting. On the straight mail for MHUPU, you can also see various questions and answers by searching for anus lifting. Maybe at this moment your colleagues and friends are secretly doing anus lifting exercises. After all, saving the anus is really too important, especially for us girls. Next, let's focus on what the anus lifting exercise is for girls. If boys are addicted to pelvic floor exercises, it is mostly because of the rumors that delay and strengthen the body that are passed down by word of mouth. Then, we girls really need to pay attention to pelvic floor exercise. First of all, the most obvious effect of pelvic floor exercises is to prevent hemorrhoids. According to the data of the popular medical survey on common anorectal diseases in China, the probability of hemorrhoids in men and women is actually not much different. However, pregnant women are an exception. During pregnancy, due to changes in hormones in the body coupled with the growing fetus in the belly, the pressure on the body continues to increase, and the anal cushions are easy to fall, thus forming hemorrhoids. Therefore, pregnant women are particularly prone to hemorrhoids in the late pregnancy. At this time, if you do pelvic floor exercises frequently after 28 weeks of pregnancy, it can not only prevent the occurrence of hemorrhoids, but also help to find the right force point during subsequent delivery. Sisters who are not pregnant yet, don't be too happy. The living habits of our young people now are simply assisting hemorrhoids. Never sit when you can lie down. Never stand when you can sit. Use lying down whenever you have the chance. Love meat and spicy food. And play with your phone when you go to the toilet. These habits are simply the favorite breeding ground for hemorrhoids. The most unbearable thing about hemorrhoids is the pain it brings. It feels like countless knives are cutting the small area of chrysanthemum. Every time you go to the toilet, it feels like the wound is torn again. It's scary to think about it. Moreover, the prevalence of hemorrhoids is as high as 50. What does this mean? 1 out of every 2 people has experienced the cruel torture of hemorrhoids. So sisters, we have to put the pelvic floor exercise on the agenda as soon as possible. Moreover, pelvic floor exercise can also promote gastrointestinal motility and relieve constipation. Imagine that you don't have to worry about constipation anymore. How great it feels! In addition to preventing hemorrhoids and relieving constipation, pelvic floor exercise has another benefit for girls, which is to control urine retention and defecation. Controlling defecation is easier to understand. That is, we can freely control the defecation, end it when we want, and control the length of the defecation at will. As for holding urine, we need to use the anal lifting exercise to drive the pelvic floor muscle exercise. This leads to the third point we are going to talk about today. Can the anal lifting exercise really improve a happiness index? Many boys think that the anal lifting exercise can improve their abilities. Some people think that insisting on the anal lifting can improve the blood flow of the pelvic floor, thereby strengthening themselves. However, there is no definite data to support this statement. The exercise that can really improve happiness is actually called Kegel exercise. We girls practice this exercise more after childbirth, which can reduce the risk of postpartum urinary incontinence. But in fact, Kegel exercise is very useful for both men and women. What is the difference between Kegel exercise and anal lifting exercise? Kegel exercises are pelvic floor muscles, while anal lifting exercises contract the sphincter near the anus. To put it bluntly, the anal lifting exercise mainly targets the anus, which allows us to control defecation, while Kegel mainly targets the urethra, and urination can be interrupted by exercising the pelvic floor muscles. The pelvic floor muscles are like a hanging net, which holds the bladder, urethra, vagina, and other organs at the pelvic floor. Girls can exercise the pelvic floor muscles through Kegel exercises to make them tighter and stronger. Boys can improve their control by practicing Kegel exercises. Therefore, in terms of improving happiness, the role of levator aranus is far inferior to Kegel exercises. If you want to know the specific details of Kegel exercises, please leave a comment in the comment area and like it. If there are many likes, I will consider publishing a special issue to talk about it. Finally, I think levator aranus exercises are really a good choice. After all, such labor-saving and convenient exercises are rare. It is like a caring greeting. Is your bowel movement normal today? It is a kind of care for our chrysanthemum area. However, I still want to remind you that levator aranus exercises can only prevent hemorrhoids. If you're already suffering from hemorrhoids, don't do it blindly at home. You still have to listen to the doctor's advice and treat it when it is necessary. Everyone is responsible for caring for chrysanthemums. So family members, have you lifted your anus today? Take action quickly.